Well, the bank of mum and dad was to send shivers up the spines of many parents across this country, both those who want to help their kids get a leg up on the property ladder and those who don't. Either way, it's a segment of the mortgage market that was untapped until now. And it comes as housing affordability is in the headlines yet again. To go and discuss that and many more, we welcome Brian Hartzer from 2BE. Of course, he's the former chief executive of Westpac as well. Brian, welcome to the show.
Morning, David. Good to be here.
To go and kick off, I want to go and ask about housing affordability. Of course, we're less than a week away from the election here in Australia. There's lots of headlines about it at the moment. What do you make about some of the policy mix that we've seen coming through from the major parties?
Yeah, well, first can I say this is a huge issue, and we've seen such a run-up in housing prices over the last few years, and it means that so many first home buyers are struggling to get onto the housing ladder. And so, to a certain extent, any innovations, be they from government or the private sector, I think are welcome. And from our perspective, this is coming at a time when you have a lot of parents over 55 who've built up significant wealth in their homes and other assets, and at a time when the banks have basically stopped lending money to people over 55. So we saw a great opportunity here to help, and government has a role to play as well.
All right, so give us some insight as to this product that you've come up with at the moment. Is it just a form to go and legitimise what's been going on for a long period of time where parents are looking to go and help their children out?
There's definitely an aspect of that. We're essentially offering people a 5-year loan that allows them the option of deferring all the payments until the end. And so when you've got a family that's built up significant equity in their home and other assets but doesn't want to downsize yet, doesn't want to sell assets, this gives them the opportunity to help kids with the down payment on the home. And the beauty of it is that we focus on people's assets and their credit history, not their income or their employment status. And what that means is more people are going to be able to tap into helping their families than can do it today.
Who's your biggest competitor in that space? Because unlocking equity in the home to go and help the children out is not a new thing in a lot of sense, but who is the federal government potentially one of the big competitors there to this product? Because we've got the first home buyers deposit scheme at the moment, which is designed to go and help give that accessibility to the housing market. Is that a competitor?
Well, interestingly, we think this is actually a new category in that it's lending to people based on their assets, not based on their income. And so in that sense, we don't think there's competitors for what we're doing specifically right now. But certainly the government programs, state and federal, which are helping first home buyers are all in the mix. And we think that's good. There's a huge issue here, and hopefully we'll help with part of that issue and government can help with another part of that issue.
Part of the issue, and one of the issues as well, it's not always just about the financial considerations. There is legal consequences, of course, from entering these kind of contracts. How can that be resolved? Because that's going to be an area, obviously dealing with family and money, it can get a bit tricky on occasions.
It's such a good point, and a big part of our thinking, a big part of how we came at this was the recognition that the bank of mom and dad is not documented in many cases. And when you're making a family loan, you're putting both your financial and your emotional ties at risk. And so as part of what we're offering, there's a lot of free educational material on our website and tools and templates, and essentially giving parents suggestions about how they ought to document. So for example, if you help your kids and their relationship breaks down, how do you make sure that you're not actually just losing half of that investment in your child? There are ways to deal with that, and that's some of what we offer on our website.
What about the competitiveness of the rate that's on offer? Is there things out there that you can get for a lower price? What's some of the other advantages you can go and offer?
Well, I think there are certainly people who've already got large lending facilities who are tapping into that to help their kids, and if they've got a conventional mortgage already, the chances are the rates will be a bit lower than what we're able to offer. The flip side with us is that you're borrowing against your assets. We can be incredibly quick, like 48 hours or less in most cases, and so yes, you pay a little bit more, but you get that flexibility to defer all the payments to the end if you want.
Brian, can we go a bit big picture and talk about the broader Aussie economy, how you feel it is going at the moment? So you've got a lot of insights from your past, what you went and in the roles particularly you've had at Westpac. How do you see the Aussie economy sitting at this point in time?
It's such a fascinating time. On the one hand, we've got incredibly low unemployment. People have built up strong balance sheets, which gives them some resilience. But there's no question when we look around the world that inflation is hugely topical for central banks. It seems highly likely we're going to see increases in interest rates across the board. That's going to put pressure on spending in other places. I'm not too worried about the housing market because I think people will continue to prioritize their homes, and the banks have been actually quite conservative over the last few years about the lending that they've done. So I'm not too worried, but I do think we're probably in for a difficult couple of years.
Brian Hartzer from 2BE, thank you so much for joining us here on the program. Look forward to next time.
Thanks for having me.